everybody welcome Sunny, the most productive 14-year-old that I could possibly think of. He is a videographer for many real estate agents. He does photography as well, has won Skills Ontario, and also has finished Project 50 once. Welcome to the show. Firstly, it's a pleasure to have you. And I'm firstly, I never thought I could get someone like you on the show, and especially someone who's firstly has the skill set that you have, and secondly has had that skill set in such a young age, and it's just really impressive. And what has brought you on to the show today?
Well, I mean, so if you had to chase all the way back to the beginning, so basically, you just reached out to me and I saw this email about podcasts. I was still a bit skeptical about it because I'm not sure if it is legit or not. If it's a bit scammy or not, but kind of did some little research about this podcast and I found out that you're also basically the same age as me. And I don't know about you, but whenever I see someone who is around you or like physically around you or your age is around you, kind of really, really successful, that's just really the biggest inspiration for me. Like if I see other young people around me doing things they love, I also want to get up and start working somewhere. So yeah, I just want to really support each other, especially in this creative industry. um I feel like we shouldn't feel we're competitors, but we should really come together and make each other's content better and better. So yeah, here I am, for you and for all of you watching, and also for me. So yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to have someone as skillful as you. I don't even think so I could say someone as skillful as you, because I don't think so there's anyone who's possibly has done so much at such a young age for you. And I just praise that you keep doing what you're doing, because currently in the path that you are currently, there's without a question you're gonna be extremely successful in the years to come, especially when you're doing all of these things at the young age of 14. Personally, for me, I have sort of thought about doing some things. I'm currently 15. I'm about to become 16 this year. I don't. Are you gonna become 15 this year, or are you 14?
I'm 08, so I'm coming 15 at the end of the year.
Okay, so you're gonna become 15 at the end of the year.
1 year. Yeah.
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 So basically, for me personally, ever since I would say, basically I got onto the self-development space, I would say in 2021. Basically, I had an exam that I wanted to be studying for, and I wanted to do good in the exam. And before that exam, basically for me, my school, I didn't have proper exams until basically grade 5. And I had grade 5 in 2020. And we all know what happened in 2020. COVID happened, and I was unable to give my exams. But I had the next year, I had an actual exam to give, which I was really stressed for. So I started watching these YouTube videos of how to study and whatnot, which led me to a rabbit hole of Ali Abdal. And over here, I'm going to mention someone which I think you know, Nicholas Crystal.
Yeah. Of course. That's one of my favorite first most inspiring YouTuber that I watched. So that's definitely aspiring guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, I used to after my exams, I still kept watching these self-development videos. I wasn't really doing much, but while having, basically, I would get a lot of self-development videos on my feed, and I would just put them on my watch later playlist, and I would put it on a fairly old monitor that I had next to me, and I would just play games, which is ironic because you're trying to get better your life on this side, and then you're just playing games here and trying to multitask as well, which isn't efficient. But I used to do that, and basically I wasn't able to process most of the videos because obviously I'm trying to multitask here and it's just playing in the background just so I feel like I'm productive when I'm not. Until one of the Nicholas Crystal videos came around, and just there was something about that video. It was the dopamine detox video, which I think where most people thought.
That one, that's the one, man.
And while that was just playing in the background, I just couldn't help but stare at the screen because what he was saying, it sounded interesting. And then what he was visually representing in his video was also really interesting. So I was like, okay, this guy's actually kind of interesting and made me want to not play my game and focus on his video while I was half-assing watching his video. So like I saw that he was a filmmaker and it really inspired me to go, and I basically like an year afterwards or 6 months or something like that, I started filming, and that's from there I'm here to doing some trying to film some short films and doing vlogs here and there.
Ooh,
And
that's great.
I wanted to ask you, what was it like for you and how you started up on your self-development / also filmmaking space?
Well, like I think we're like on a really, really similar journey. First of all, so like that was also the video that dopamine detox that got me into the sky and started to realize that there's like I can do so much more with my life if I don't like play video games and stuff. And actually, like that time, like I think I discovered that video like the beginning of 2022, and that's basically the beginning of my channel at like beginning when I started filmmaking. So it was really inspiring for me to see that video at that time. Not, I mean, I already started photography before that, but like it's kind of like a turning point for me to really like realize that this is something that I actually want to do. And yeah, and I just feel like these personal challenges, they're fun. They're not necessarily fun to do, like, first of all, but like they're very fun to watch. And especially, I feel like, when you show people a long period of time of doing a challenge, people can see the difference. Like, they can see you change in the process. And I think that's what's like really special about storytelling. Because, like, maybe for example, at the beginning, the first few videos that I created, one of those about like I went for a morning run every day for 30 days. And for that one, like even though it's every day is kind of the same, but like with the filmmaking storytelling like skills, I kind of purposely put in these like struggles and here and there so you can feel like I'm going through something at least. So yeah, I just found that it's really fun, and with these two skills combined, you can really create something that's really inspiring. Like at the end, you always feel like, well, I want to get up and I want to do something. So, and yeah, here I am today. I think, even though I'm still figuring out like what niche or videos I'm trying to create, but I think mostly it's just to use my lens and my skills to show other people my story and my experience of going through whatever it is. Like right now, I'm not trying to force me to create like certain videos, but I just want to like document down moments of my life. So that's sort of, yeah. Basically.
You said that you are basically making these videos to document, but also on your channel, I've seen that you aren't really a person who does vlogs. You mostly did the Project 50, which was basically a vlog series. Like, are you planning to do any vlogs coming up?
Oh, I think vlogs, like purely with I've done a few vlogs here and there, like weekend in my life, a productive day in the life. But I always try to put some purpose in those videos. Like I always try to put some like self-development lesson or tips in there because I did one like purely vlog, just like documenting my lifestyle, no nothing, no like no fancy stuff. And what I learned is that when you're still small as a creator, no one gives a crap about your life. So, so no one's gonna watch like a 10-minute video of your life. Well, they could use a 10 minute to do something in their life, you know. So vlog is something I'm trying to avoid right now. Unless it's like Project 50 because it's a long series, and I mean I kind of hopped on to that trend at the right time, but probably in the future. Actually, I just went back from a grad trip like yesterday for 2 days. Like also because in Canada here you graduate in grade 8. So yeah, I'm also like graduating. So yeah. So there's also gonna be like a grad trip vlog coming up. So it's kind of ironic that I just said that I'm not trying to create vlogs, but I also kind of are going to create a vlog for the next video. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. So
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said about vlogs mostly being something that you should film once you have an audience, because you can't really give somebody to care about your life when they don't know you at all, which is also kind of why personally I started with vlogs, which was a dumb idea. I'll say it. I started with vlogs, but for something that I had, which I don't think that everybody does, which is I had a fairly alright following on my Instagram, where I had basically a lot of friends and family who were interested in what I wanted to do. So I had like a solid batch of people that would watch my videos, which slowly started to decline because you realize that your life mostly is the same every single day. And once you get through like a certain amount of vlogs, you have to start doing other things for the vlog for it to be actually interesting, which is kind of why I've shifted more to making vlogs like around events which people care about. For example, I went to a concert which was hosted by my school. It was called Salvation. And I wasn't even planning to make a video on that or a video around that concert, but I just filmed a little bit and I was like, you know what, I'll film it. I'll record some commentary and see how it goes. That is my most viewed video now because people cared about the event and they cared about the commentary I gave around that event because no one else was giving that. So personally for me, when it comes to vlogs, you should make them if you're trying to start with it, which is personally, it's already hard in itself to start on YouTube. And if you started with something that you need people to care about, something like your life, which is, look, as much as it sounds rude to say, no one really cares about your life unless you do something like go on jets every day or do something really fancy every day. If you don't do something like that, your life is kind of boring and not really anyone is gonna want to watch it. Which is why if you want to start with doing, I guess, vlogs, which I don't recommend, but if you want to start with doing that because that's something you enjoy, then what I recommend is doing it around events, doing it around this concert you went, doing this around this sports event day that you were training for. Just vlog days before and show how you're training, show how you're feeling, and then on the day, you film it and you give your thoughts all the way through, wrap it into a video, and people care about it now because it has some moral to it.
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like doing vlogs. I want to say it's a little bit more complicated than what it seems. Although if you get to a certain point, if you're someone like Elliot Choi, you can get views doing whatever. You can, if you're someone like Emma, I think her name is Emma Chamberlain, you can get views from literally drinking coffee. You don't have to, but to get that point, it's not easy. So yeah, vlogs are hard.
Yes, like kind of like as you're saying about like friends and family like want to watch your video. Like I feel like I'm a bit like opposite between you. It's not like my friends and family don't care about me, but like it's just that when I started my YouTube or social media stuff, I try to hide it as much as possible from the people around me because I just feel like a bit cringy if I to let them see my videos, especially like classmates. Like when I just started like a few months in, if I see them watching my video in class, I will like actually run out the room and then just like hi, let's head somewhere until they finish with it. I'm like, I have zero tolerance with that. But like, yeah, it's just I don't know. It was just a mindset that like I just feel like what I was doing isn't doesn't fit my character back then because it's like a different you have a different personality online compared to in
Yeah.
person. I'm not sure if you have that, but like, yeah, it just felt cringe until like now that I have some like accomplishments though, I actually did something with my skills. Um, those like people who like laugh at me, who doubt me, like stop doing that, and I also become more confident and more open about this. Like if you ask me to go on a podcast, like 6 months earlier, I would say like, yo, what? I'm not that guy. I'm not that kind of guy right now. But like, yeah, I definitely like, and also bring it back to like say vlogs. I think vlogs are a good way to get into YouTube. Like, you don't have to create like a dopamine detox for your first video, and people will feel kind of weird for you to like make such a high quality video for your first video, I guess. Um, like I don't know, but like I guess that's sort of like what I did. So it just kind of feel like a pressure that you had to keep producing high quality content every single one after that one. So that's sort of what I did for a while, but I realized it's already possible. So now I'm just like, um, I don't really, I'm not trying to put in that much effort in that one single video, but what I'm trying to create is like a whole series, a whole channel of something that I can look back on and realize, wow, I really built up something in these years. So yeah, and also it's just that quote like done is better than perfect, especially if you try to get into something. Just if you try to like perfectionist something, like no, like Christopher Nolan, like he doesn't make like a Hollywood movie like every single week, right? So yeah, I guess that's the difference between like traditional filmmaking and YouTube. And if you want to sort of survive in content creating, you really got to be consistent and keep up with the posting schedule, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. From what you said, I'm gonna assume that you think that what do you call quantity is better than quality at the start of starting your YouTube channel.
Uh, not like not like make 100 crappy videos. It's not like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna film a video about this bunch of tissues." That's it. But like again, like try to put some purpose into each video. Like even though some videos that I post right now are a bit rushed, like they're not like as high quality produced like some other ones. But I always shoot something on camera and then import it onto DaVinci Resolve, like edit them. Actually, I always go through like a editing process so they're not like as crappy as you just use like CapCut or something like that. So yeah, I'm also trying to keep up a little bit of quality. Yeah.
I basically did quantity over quality for I would say a solid like 3 months, and I would say that was still I would say one of my best periods of doing YouTube, because even though like at the last point I can guarantee the last point I was making just horrible videos, which is kind of why I stopped, because at a point you're gonna realize that you can make a fairly good video and you can identify that fairly good video. And I think I did a video a week for around 3 months. At the end, I had to stop because I had exams. I think the only reason I stopped was because I needed to take a thumbnail and I couldn't take it, and I had my exams like coming up. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll take like a 3 week break. But after that, my uploads just went downhill. So to be honest, following a schedule is better. But
Yeah, I think like quantity and quantity is such a hard question, especially in like YouTube. Like everyone had different answer. But like here's how I look at it. Like if you're posting bangers every single week or whatever, like every single month, people will think, oh, it's another banger, it's another banger, and they'll think like, oh, why is this banger like worse than the last banger? And like, why is this better than the last banger? So I'm trying to, so like I would suggest to have a variety of content on your channel. So sometimes post a bit of like less high quality videos, but sometimes post like a banger and let your viewers know that this is something that you put a lot of effort into, and people were like, oh, so people have like a refreshed feeling that, oh, they want to see more of these bangers. So like you see what I mean? So like if you post like high quality content every single time, they kind of just don't feel like they're high quality anymore. Or they need something to in contrast, like for example, like a small vlog or a little rushed video. They were like embrace the high quality video more. So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. Like so I always just like post one or two bangers here and there, but then most of the time it's like mid sort of videos. Yeah.
Yeah. I can look. I can try. For me, I try to like. I think the only real banger that I've posted was that concert video, because it was a video with just the perfect plot line. It had the perfect commentary. The only thing which, looking back on it, I could improve. Sorry. The only thing that I could remember, the only thing that rewatching it, I feel like I could have improved, was to get the organizers and try to get their opinion on it and try to make this a documentary style video. If I could do that, then it would be the best. It would be like a definite banger for me. But right now it's on like a 9 out of 10, and every other video after that video has just been kind of declining, because you can't, for some reason that video had just, what do you call it? It had perfect timing, and I recorded enough, and edited it properly, which just made it good. And personally for me, there's so many times where I film a video, I will go onto my editing software. I go through around 2 minutes of it, and then I realize, okay, this video isn't good enough, so I'm not gonna edit it at all. Another funny thing is the concert vlog. I also thought that was a bad video, so I almost didn't edit that, and I almost missed out on the best video I've made. So, moral of the story: never say something is a bad idea. I mean, if you have got to the point where you can edit properly and you understand a good video, which some people will just call everything a good video. To them, I don't know what to say, but you'll get to a point where you just know if something's a good video, and by your editing skills, obviously, because sometimes before you edit something, it looks really bad, and after you edit it, it can still look really bad. Or if you can maybe fix it up, then it'll look better. I just made you understood what editing does. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess like editing is like 50% of the whole thing. But yeah, I was like, I totally get it. Like I know exactly what you're talking about, because there's also a few videos that I did when I just like look a few minutes in there. I'm like, nah, I don't want to edit this video anymore. Like it's just a waste of energy to edit this video. Like no matter if I'm post it or not, but it's like a torture when you're editing it. But yeah, I mean, so I think that also kind of brings the point that you should be more considerate while you're filming and when you're preparing for this video. So I'm not sure if you know, so like, when you go to a place, like famous place, all the tourists just like, snap a picture over here, snap a picture over there. But then like, when you go back home, you saw like 1,000 photos and videos in your album, and you try to select each of them, and you're like, oh, damn, why did I take that much like footage today? Yeah, so now I'm really trying to be like, so I suggest like be more selective about the things that you shoot and you create, so that you don't have to be that painful while you are like editing. And yeah, but if it's like really, really that bad, I I still kind of, if it was me, I still think that um like it's at least it's something that you did, and as long as there's something that prove that you did this thing, um like right now, like 10 or 20 years later, you look back on it, you're like, wow, I'm so glad that I made this video. And yeah, you'll be like very proud that you did this. Yeah.
Yeah. This was kind of the thing which it reminded me. I don't know if you have done this. It's basically like the 5 picture challenge or something. I don't remember what it's exactly called. It's basically you go to a location and you're only allowed to take 5 pictures.
Sure.
And at the end, we see who has the best pictures.
Oh, I saw the one. It's like in New York City,
Like,
something like that.
I don't
Something
know.
like that.
It's something like that. And
Yeah.
personally, those challenges is kind of really interesting to me because it limits the, what do you call it? The friction of having so many pictures to go through, and you're really selective about what you take a picture of, which is also kind of why I love Polaroids, because
Yeah.
Polaroids, I think each one of those Polaroid
Yeah,
ones,
they cost.
yeah, they cost like I think $2 or something like that. So you're not snapping a million Polaroids once you see once you see a view that you think is nice. You make sure you get the angle right, and you just take one or two.
Yeah, you know what? Like when I get into photography, my camera, it's always like the highest burst mode. Like it's like 24 frames per second. I used to use that for like a really, really long time. But now I only shoot like a single shot mode. So like when I press down, it's only taking me one shot instead of like 24, like 30, whatever shots there is. And another funny story is when I did my first ever my gig job, like for like this team, they're having the summer party. The organizer or like the manager that was communicating with me said like capture as much footages as you can, so when you're editing, you have all of these things that you can work with. And so I captured like more than like 200-300 videos. And as it turned out, when I'm editing it, like because it's my first like client job, I didn't know like you have to ask for what kind of music they want, what do they want to have, what's the purpose of the video, is it like sharing the team, or is it like commercial, or is it like promotional? So then um we had in total of 8 edits in total, and it took me like more than 1 week in order to communicate with them back and forth, saying like, oh, is this okay? Is this like, do you want this clip to be 1 more second longer? Do you want this like color grading to be a bit more warmer? I'm like, yeah, it was a painful to like, and they even asked me to upload all of those videos onto Google Drive so they can select the videos for me in order for me to edit. So I had to like do that like all 300 of them. So it's kind of, yeah, it was a pain. It was a pain in the butt. So yeah, it was a lesson for me to learn. And now, yeah, I just when I'm working with clients, I try to like ask them what they want at the beginning, so I have a better idea of what to do when I'm actually on site.
Yeah. Talking about your client work, I want to know how you get clients and what's like the process between the clients and you, and at the end, how is it like as a job as a whole?
Yeah. So yeah, so many people ask me that question. Like they're all very curious about like clients. Like when they hear clients, you just think of like people like you wearing suits, talking to each other. But it doesn't have to be that like big. Like when you talk about like commercial video, it doesn't have to be like, oh, you're filming a video for Mercedes. No, you don't. It doesn't have to be. I think like as a social media like got like bigger and bigger, like basically all the corporations out there want to have a video of them demonstrating their company. So yeah, basically what I always tell people that Instagram DM me like how I get these clients, I always just tell them like start with the people around you. Yeah, as I was saying, like yeah, because as bring back to the question, like how do I like do actually the client work? So because that we're like 14, I don't really like sign contracts with them before doing clients work. It's just like, oh, the client's like, oh, come on in for this project. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm from the, like, we don't even like use like receipts, or like we don't do like bills or anything. We just like e-transfer, or sometimes even cash. So I'm not sure if it's illegal, or like, but like we just basically do it like under the hood, you know.
Oh,
We don't really like sign papers about like intellectual properties, how they can use this video, whatnot. It's just like, oh, I made this video for you. You can do whatever you want to do. So yeah, I guess that make the process a lot easier. But I don't know if that's the safest option for me as a creator. And I don't know if this like podcast went out, I might get canceled or whatnot. But hopefully not. Hopefully not.
hopefully not.
Yeah. So that's basically what I do. And specifically for like real estate agents, like real estate work that recently did a lot. Um, so so do you want me to like go into like the detailed stories, or like how I got into it, how I got my first job and everything?
Yeah, I wanna know. I mean, I know I've watched your video, but explain how you got into real estate and what your first job was like, even though you got given us like a little hint of it, I guess.
Yeah. So my first proper job, I guess, like not from that family friend, is I actually Instagram DM like 200 real estate agents in my area. And there's actually one that like actually like called me on. I was like, oh, come shoot this listing, and I'm currently in Toronto. And yeah, 1 week later we actually met in Toronto, and I shot this like condo for him, and I did this like house tour video for him. And that's sort of like where it really like took off, because I finally have something that I did and entirely based on myself. Because I just feel like when I was still doing work for that family friend, it didn't really feel like a proper job, you know. It feel like
Mm.
I still had some help from like this relationship. And now like when I really reached out and did everything by myself, I feel like it's really like a small milestone. Yeah, but after that, I just like built my portfolio and my Instagram like profile, my business profile, and so I have work to show my future clients. So yeah, when I once I showed a few more clients of the work that I did before, they just realized, oh, okay, this guy's legit. And yeah, I think if you're trying to get into something, the best thing to do is you create something similar to the thing you want to do with that client, so they know that you have the ability. Because if you just go onto someone's Instagram DM and expect them to like spend 10 minutes of the time looking through your Instagram and looking through like your website, it's not the smartest choice to do. So yeah, I guess just create something similar to that.
No,
Here.
I, s- I see. I would talk more about this, but I know almost nothing about real estate. So let's move on to something I know a little bit more about, which is Project 50 and how you got started with Project 50 and what made you want to start Project 50.
Yeah, there's actually for those who want to know my like journey and whole like experience with this, I actually have a video created about my whole 50 days, like a recap almost. But yeah, on my channel. But yeah, almost. But yeah, basically, so I started it on the 1st of April. Like it's not an April Fool, by the way.
Yeah.
Like you ask me like, well, are you being April Fool because it's April 1st? But yeah, at that time I was like there was no jobs, no like client jobs I was doing. And also it took me like way too long to edit YouTube videos. And I just realized that I should do something that I will look back on and I'll be really proud of, and the future me will thank me a lot. I actually like dealt to myself and asked it, and really wondered if I should really hop onto this challenge. Like a few days before I start this thing, I actually like um sort of hindered a bit, like about whether I should start. And there's sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the question is yes. The answer is yes. But yeah, on the April 1st, I did it. I started this thing because um, I just started to see a lot more like creators doing this thing, and I just realized that this is something that I can also do, and it doesn't really take that much effort. Well, I mean, it is like spending 1 2 hours at it every single day at night, like no matter what happens. So yeah, it was quite a big sort of moment for in this like in my creative journey. Um, yeah, there sometimes it was a struggle to like have the dedication to edit the video of the day, but I would say like most of the time it's like pretty casual. As we like talked about earlier, that like vlogs are like pretty chill, but like because it's Project 50 trying to fit it in within like 1 minute to 30 seconds, so it's even easier. And every time you post that video, you still like have a bit of like surprise, and you're still unknown if the video is gonna perform well. So it's yeah, it was pretty rewarding to see those videos like that popped off, but also a bit sad to see like some videos that just like died, like plateaued out. Yeah, but I mean, you have to realize that there's 50 videos in total, and if you don't see the growth going happening in the first 10 or 20 videos, there's nothing wrong with it. Because I remember on my Instagram, the first few videos are only like 300 400 views, but the last but like ever since day 30, it just really started to took off. And yeah, if I'll stop at the day 20 or day 10 mark, would I've ever like get that much followers from this Project 50? Like definitely not. So yeah, again, like just like consistency in the team. That's like the biggest takeaway from this Project 50 challenge.
Yeah. Project 50 is personally, I think, I would say it's one of the, I would say it's hard. It's not, it's hard because of the concepts of not the actual rules. I think the rules, they're fair. Yes, some of them you could slip up, but it's not something that I would say it's really hard to do, which I feel like you can agree with, right? The
Yeah.
Project 50 to me, what I find just amusing to the people who do it is the people who do it and the people who post a video every single day of them doing Project 50. Because doing all of these, which yes, firstly, if your life is currently in a bad state, after the 50 days, you're gonna be wanting to do these things as firstly, just a regular habit. And secondly, your life is just gonna massively improve because even if they seem like small changes that anyone can do, if you already do them, obviously you're not gonna be in a better state. But if you're in a worse state, I respect every creator who does it, and I respect every human being who also does Project 50. Because I was never able to do it, mostly because I was kind of scared by the fear of needing to post 50 videos in 50 days.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
the closest thing I've done to a video a day was I did a challenge of basically reading a book a day for 30 days.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
I went till day 15, I think. And then I just had to stop because my brain was hurting and my life was just getting so busy. And it wasn't fair, personally. And he's back. It's fine. We'll just talk. And my life just got busy to the point. I mean, yes, I could still possibly finish it, but it wasn't ideal, personally, for me to finish it. So I didn't. And also, it was possibly the most stressful time of my life. He's realizing what close blur is.
Yeah, I can sort of understood that, like also through like Project 50, because it was sort of a pain. Then you kind of wake up and you realize, oh, I have to film this thing. I have to film my whole day again. Um, and especially at the beginning, because I was using my camera to film everything. I was using my tripod and like I was trying to make everything set up like perfectly. And but then I realized that um capturing something like as long as it captures that moment, it doesn't have to be like good. So like it doesn't have to like do it like that good. So now so like basically after day 10 or after day 20, I realized that it's not sustainable for me to just film everything perfectly, set up perfectly. And I also realized that because those videos aren't performing, so I decided to change something. So I just decided to use my phone to film everything, and that became a lot easier. And that's just like became not a pain in the butt to film everything, and that also like made me to take my videos to a lot more places. Like for example, if I take my phone to school, and because of my classmates and my friends at school are also watching those videos, and they're like, "Yo, can I be in this video? Can I like go appear have an appearance in this video?" And maybe I'll film them, but then in edit, I'll probably only put them in for like 0.1 second. But then but they still comment like, "Yo, is that me in there?" Like, and they're like so proud of me. Yeah, you know, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the pressure of doing a daily series is hard, and especially with the challenge I guess you're doing, it just adds on to the stress. Would I ever do something like that? Most probably just to challenge myself. It's hard for me to do challenges like that because of editing, and I'm kind of slow in editing. But I probably need to do that just so I can get outside my comfort zone and I can edit faster and yeah, just let my skills grow. Because I'm certain Project 50 was a huge learning experience for you. 50 days of editing so much, of just everything, following these strict rules. Okay, so what do you think was the most challenging part of Project 50?
um, so I think there's mainly like two things, mainly two things. So, first of all, the courage they need in order to get started. Like it's a really struggle part to to like think about what your friends and family are gonna say once you started this, and also a lot more stuff. You think that, am I actually gonna finish this thing? Are people actually gonna care about my life? Or like it's just gonna benefit me anyways? And also the second part is really just the pressure of creating every one video every single day, and especially because um, a technical thing that I learned through posting videos every single day is that there's a best posting time for your videos on Instagram. At least I know, um, and that times is like the most active time that your followers are on Instagram. So so like that time is around like 3 to 6 p.m. And so that means that I have to finish that video within that period of time in order to get the best results. Like if I'll post a video like at 10 p.m., it's not gonna perform well. So that's sort of like a thing that I learned. So that's really a pressure for me, because a lot of things, like a lot of like extracurricular like school and sports and everything happen within like 3 to 6 p.m. Here. So most of the time I couldn't make that sort of time frame, but it just, yeah, it's just feel like, and like when you're editing that video, you sort of feel like, if I don't finish this video within this period of time frame, it's just gonna go to waste. So that really like made me edit faster. So like I'm a faster editor now. Before it took me like one and a half hour to edit one Project 50 video, but now it took me like less than 30 minutes. So you can see like it's really an improvement, and overcoming these kind of struggles. And yeah, also like I sort of developed like a workflow that I follow in order to increase and make most of the productivity. So yeah, I guess that's sort of the struggle that I faced the most while doing this challenge.
Could you share us the workflow that you're talking about for productivity?
Okay. Oh, wait, productivity or like project 15?
You said productivity, so I don't. I think. Could you share both?
Yeah, okay. So so for project 50, I haven't. It's been like almost 1 month since I ended it, but yeah, basically I just like import those footages that I shot over the day, both on my phone and on my camera into my editing software, and I will first like script on my software called Notion. You probably know
Yeah.
Notion, right? Like Ali adult, probably yeah. That's how I got it. Yeah, Notion, which is like all in one workspace.
Yes.
So I write my scripts in there. Mostly, it's gonna take me around 10 minutes to like scripts like what I did throughout the day, but also trying to like not trying to make it too vague, but also add a bit more details in those sentences. And then afterwards, I will just record my voiceovers, and that is like one of the painful parts because you always feel like, oh, if I miss said this sentence by one single word, like if I said, oh, you say one more word of from, you think that slow down the whole video by like 0.13 seconds. You think that people can click off in that moment. So you just always trying to make that voice recording perfect. So that takes me around like 10, no, like around 2 3 minutes. But then afterwards, I'll just import that voiceover into the editing software, and I will cut the clips accordingly to the voiceover. And yeah, basically after that, just adding some color grades, text, transitions, sound effects, and after exporting that, I'll just add the subtitles. I use this like I use the CapCut like desktop desktop version, so it has like automatic captions, so I don't have to type in each word manually. Yeah, I just transfer the video back to my phone, and yeah, there you go. There's a Project 50 video right there. Yeah. It was a lot of like trial and errors at the beginning. Especially I used to overthink a lot about like small details. Like for example, when I'm posting the video, I think that one single tag that I like if I say like, oh oh shoot, I have to repost this video because I forgot to add this tag. But like Project 50, I forgot to add in the Project 50 tag. So I will have to delete that one and repost it. But yeah, but then I just realized that it doesn't really matter at all. So yeah, it became a lot faster than me for me. It became a lot faster for me to make one of these videos.
How do you manage having a YouTube channel, doing real estate photography and school, and being, I think you're on the track team of your school?
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
As well as
oh, we're really a follower. You
as
really
as well as doing what do you call it, being on the track team and practicing for that, and also playing sports and also playing games with your friends at night, I guess. How do you manage all of that?
well, it's a it's a good question. But like first of all, I think um um I'm very fortunate that I started like content creating at such early age that like my pressure of like academic isn't as high as you are right now. So especially like in Canada, like right now, the academic really get harder once you enter like grade 11 and grade 12. But now I'm only like grade 8 entering grade 9, so I still have a few years. But so I'm not sure if I can still keep up this sort of work once like a few years later. But I think it's still possible because I see like senior students from like the US who has a YouTube channel and they're pretty successful. Um and also another part, maybe it's the power of media and what I put out there in my videos. Like, maybe because I say that I do all these productive stuff, and it kind of tricks people think that I'm such a good and such a productive person. But in fact, I still scroll through social media like here and there in between works and here and there. But like, I just don't show that. I just don't show when I'm going to social media because like, that I don't know. The society thinks like it's toxic, and I agree also. Um, but yeah, I simply just don't show when I'm chilling. But going back to the question that how I manage all of these things, um, yeah, it's a good question. How do I manage all of these things? I think there's also like stressful times when I just feel like time is like fighting against me. Like I don't have enough time to do this and that. Um, but I guess it's all about prioritizing what you really want to do for that day, because every single person only like every one of us have 24 hours, and but it's all just about like what you should prioritize for today. It's not like saying that oh no, never mind. It's not like, and also I don't try to like finish everything in one day. I try to break them down into like small goals. And so like it's like more like achievable and more attemptable. So if I like tell myself to finish this essay in like today, but which is not possible. But more likely I will say finish the first two paragraphs of this essay for today, and I will do something else. Like for example, hop on this podcast with Sabar with the for the rest of my time and do something else for the rest of the day. So yeah, that sort of explains it. I'm not sure if I'm not the best at explaining things, but yeah, that's sort of how I do it.
So you manage everything by keeping realistic deadlines for yourself, and
Yeah. You put it that way. That's the right way to put it. Yeah,
yeah,
I guess so.
and yeah, I get what you meant about you're not always productive and you don't always show yourself scrolling, because let's be honest, no one really wants to show that, but we also do have to mention it sometimes because we're all human. We're all human. Well, we're all I'm certain every single person on the planet has gotten distracted at some point, and yeah, we all do have 24 hours in our lives, and it's whatever we prioritize is what's gonna get done. Like for example, if I prioritize today, I prioritized my family and I went out. I could have stayed home and finished editing a project that I had, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's all about priorities, and once you prioritize things properly, you'll get things done faster than people who just try doing everything that's on their plate at once. And I feel like those people also multitask, which is also sort of me. I've done my fair share of multitasking for sure, especially during my exam seasons, which happened. Talking about exam seasons, did you have your exam seasons while Project 50 was happening?
Not really, not necessarily. Um, yeah, but there's also obviously like tests here and there. But like the but here the thing is like the best advice that I can give for those who are students and for those who are like people in workplace who also want to do like something like filmmaking on YouTube channel. The best advice I can give is to finish all of their work in school, and at school don't be like, oh, I'll finish this thing at home. Don't procrastinate, because I know classmates of mine who like play video games in class and leave all the homework to do in at home. So, but in that way, there's no free time for them to do what they love to do now. So what I try to do is just like finish as much as possible stuff in school, so I can have more time to do in my free time. But I mean, I assume that like maybe you have a lot more like schoolwork and homework combined. So like when everything combined together, you just don't have much free time. So is that like the case? And so
For me personally, last year, which I also was in grade 8. So yeah, last year I was in grade 8, and I just finished grade 8. And personally, uh, last year was probably one of the busiest years of my life. I normally even have just one vacation, even if I have school. And throughout the whole of last year, I had 0 vacations. I mostly just worked for 12 months, except for, I think, a bit of December. I took a little bit of a break, but even while I was having that quote unquote break, I was trying to work on projects. But personally, in my opinion, I don't feel like I'm working whenever I'm doing filmmaking, other than editing. For some reason, I can't get myself to edit. But when I do, I try to do as much as I can, because
yeah,
I got to a point where I realized I enjoy the process of making making videos and making content, and I don't enjoy the editing part. Yes, I love like getting like the end part of just like that full edit. I love just going at the start of the timeline and just playing it, and then everything being perfect, like the sound effects being there, the images being there, um, the cuts being in the correct places. But just sometimes I just can't get myself to think about the end product. It's kind of the same with studying. I can't, like, sometimes I can't get myself to study, but then I just think I have my exams, I need to study, and at the end it will be all worth it. Which, personally, for most students, what I've seen is they can't get themselves to study for those good grades at the end, because they can't wait. Because normally, look, our brain it's built to get whatever gratification we can as fast as we can. And when the brain sees that we're studying and we're not really seeing much of a progress, which is what the problem is with people just rereading their notes and whatnot. There isn't that much progress to be seen while you just reread your notes. That's why I kind of like doing flashcards, because then you can just see like your flashcards just going down one by one if you use something like Enki. And I also use something called LCM. Yeah, LMC, which is basically lazy man flashcards. I have a percentage sign. It's basically just a list of questions, and I just answer them. And every time I answer them, I'll mark them, and then I'll get a grade. The way I make this fun is by looking at the grade and slowly seeing it increase, and that's my sense of progress before, because I can't see what grade I'm gonna get before I give the exam and like I get the grade. And my way of seeing how well I know a topic is basically testing myself, which nowadays most students are doing, which is good, because back when I was in grade 5 and I'd never have given a proper exam in my life, all I would do is reread, and I'll just say my grades weren't the best. They were pretty bad.
yeah,
And like while I was studying, I thought about all of this. Basically, our brains, they want instant gratification. That's why we eat junk food, we eat chocolate, we don't want to work out, because we don't see the what do you call results right there. And that's also why I think personally, why so many people don't go to the gym, because they don't see progress. And kind of why I also don't work out many of the times, because my PR time is increasing. And it's frustrating, but in my opinion, if you can't see yourself just having that end product and you need some sort of motivation, I recommend trying to gamify it a bit. Whether it's going to the gym or studying for an exam. Studying for exam, there's so many ways. Going to the gym, you could try to be your PR. You could try to do more reps. You could try, if you do cardio and running, you could try getting a better PR. You could try running more. You could do a marathon. Which, talking about which, would you ever want to do a full marathon?
Well, well, like marathon. So yeah, but like from basically like if we run back a bit, like speaking of like working out and stuff, I used to be a guy who like watched like tons of workout videos. Like what's the guy's name got? Chris. What's his last name again? Chris Bumstead, the Canadian dude, the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
I used to like binge watch a lot of like workout content. I used to like also I worked out for like a very long time. But like it's always just like I work out for a long time, but I rest for a long time. I work out for a long time and I rest for a long time. And I think like after this conversation with you, I really should get back into the routine because like I haven't worked out for quite a while now, and I don't know. I've been just chilling. I enjoy life here, but but yeah, um, marathon stuff. I'm not the biggest cardio guy. I'm not. I don't have stamina at all. That's why I'm a sprinter. I'm not a runner. Like in track and field, I run the 100 and 200s, and also the relays, but not the long distances. But I mean, who know? Actually, like last year, I was thinking about doing a triathlon, like a small triathlon. Do you know like what triathlon is?
What's it?
Triathlon was like so like triathlon are like three things. So like running, bicycling, and swimming. So those three things combined. So it's like even a bigger challenge. But like obviously it's gonna be a bit like modified. It's not because like there's there's different levels of triathlon. There's like the small ones, the medium ones, and there's like the Ironman. The Ironman is like a full marathon, and then like 100 kilometers of like biking, and like 6 kilometers of like swimming. That's like not human being. Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah. I'm not trying to do that by the way. But yeah, I think working out and exercise in general for me, it used to be like flexing, like that had like big. Yeah, I'm a big guy, but now it's just like it's another way for me to demonstrate my discipline and train my mental state sort of, and also just find something else that um I don't know, like a healthier option of releasing dopamine because it's the instead of like binge watching like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, hit the gym, yeah, things like that. But yeah, while you were talking about like progress making, while you like study for exams and making videos, I think that's the reason why short form content has become so much popular for creators nowadays. Because you can make like 5 short Instagram reels, and you just see progress like for every single one of them. But then if you spend like a whole week to edit one single YouTube video, which is going to take a lot more effort, and you don't see any progress in there, and you still don't know if it's going to perform well. So I think that's the reason why so much creators are trying to like go more into short form, and because like they can make so much of those. I mean, like that's really just like quantity over quantity. But after this Project 50 challenge, I just realized that, not trying to be rude, but short form content is for like lazy people. Like they're for people who um can't sit down for like a few hours to edit to edit like a few YouTube videos, but they spend like 10 minutes edit on the phone and post on TikTok and stuff. Well, maybe short form's gonna get bigger and bigger, and I'm gonna like do what I just said I'm not gonna do, but who knows? Maybe that day will come. But yeah, I think yeah, it's different content is a very interesting thing. Like it's everything inside the human brain and stuff. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely think. Like I had this signature question that I used to ask all my guests. I think like a year ago, which was, do you think short form content is here to stay? And I'm gonna ask you the exact same question right now, and then I'm gonna give you my opinion.
Wait, so can you repeat the question? Like,
Question is, do you think short form content is here to stay?
it's here to stay. Um, I don't know. Like, I think like in general, because all these companies are just trying to like maximize their profits, but there's these customers like us consuming this content, and also these like creators like also like us who are creating stuff on these platforms, who trying to like grow an audience on this platform, and try to like generate some profits out of it. So um I guess it depends on like what's I'm not. I don't know. I don't have the like exact answer for that. I think no one does, but like I think it really depends on like what kind of character you play as. Like if you are a parent or a teacher, you obviously don't want these like young kids consuming short form content messing up with their brain and like with their with their dopamine receiver and things like that. But on the other side, if you are creating content and if you're creating more than you're consuming, I think that's okay. Because you're not using this to sort of waste your life on, but you're trying to like really make meaningful with your life. And like one of the sort of quote that I always use, I actually used to use it on my YouTube channel like profile, but I actually just changed it like 2 days ago. The quote goes like, pleasure through creation, not consumption. Like that's like what I'm trying to follow every single day. So yeah, I think as long as you're using this short form thing like properly, or let's just say like as long as you're like doing something with short form, I think it's fine. So yeah, but what do you think? I'm also curious because it's a hard question to be honest. Like everyone have different answers.
I personally think short form is here to stay, which is like I want to say it with like it's definitely here to stay. That's kind of why I haven't been asking it to guests for the past like I think the last time I asked it was a year ago, and I asked it to a couple guests because I was truly uncertain about was it here to stay, and like I wanted to ask people about do they think it's here to stay, especially short form content creators, because they should have a stronger opinion than someone like me who has barely done any short form content. And over the year, I've realized that people's retention has dropped. They can't focus on things that often, and people's screen times have been through the roof. Obviously, it has decreased a little because people who work, they can't be on their phones anymore for too long because lockdown's over and whatnot. But with short form content it's quick, it doesn't waste much of your time, and you can watch a lot of it in a short period of time. And with people's retentions just dropping and dropping and dropping, I personally think that it's here to stay, because the more people are going to watch short form content, the more their retentions are going to be screwed up, and the more their retention is screwed up, the more they're going to crave the short form content, which is also why you're going to see basic like the videos which have basic like flatlined retentions which start up like you know how the retention graph looks like for
Yeah.
normally what it looks like is it starts over like here, and then like it'll maybe dip, and then maybe it'll stagnate, or it'll dip again, and then it'll come back.
Yeah.
That's how most people's ones. The creators, I'm not targeting creators and everyone who makes good content, but most creators, it goes like this: dip up, again dip up, and then dip up. It goes. It's all over the place. Okay, you can almost make nothing out of that except for the dips. You can try to fix those parts. But the creators with basically just starting up like here and then just basically flatlining or slowly going down, but almost like 70% of their 70% of their viewers watch the whole video. Those creators, they edit their videos in a way that they can keep retention. And with this day and age, I am almost certain almost every single one of those YouTubers, they edit their videos like TikToks. They make sure there's a cut every 2 and 3 seconds. They make sure something's happening even when they hold the frame. And they know how to keep people's retentions. Because the thing is, not everything needs to be cut like a TikTok to keep people's retentions nowadays. Nowadays, you just need to make sure the intro is good, the hook is good, and then you could bore them a little with some words. They'll focus on it because they just saw like 1 or 2 a second less cuts for like a minute straight. So now they're like, okay, well, you need to slow down because if you keep on going in that pace, they're going to be like, okay, this is too much. We're not going to watch this. Okay? Most people are going to do that. Instead, the YouTubers or the editors that know what they're doing, they'll slow down their video. They'll have the creator talking a little bit. And then in the next 60 seconds, so we're on the 2-minute mark or the 1 minute to 2 minute mark. On those 60 seconds, they'll bore them a little. They'll say some things which is important for the plot of the video. And then they'll have a cut in like 10 seconds again and make sure something else is happening. And they're going to try to follow that pattern of having a lot of cuts and then having a couple seconds of the creator saying something. To say something, you need like 10 cuts to make sure the person's dopamine is like, okay, we're interested now. And now we'll listen to this guy because I'm hooked into what the video has to say. Look, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Look, I love creators making more entertaining content. But creators having to squish down their good content, their already really good content, which is into like a movie style, into a TikTok, is embarrassing, and it sucks. Okay, like I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to be rude, but I've seen creators before they had such a good they had a good hook, and then they would play on with the video. Okay, it was kind of like a movie for their whole video. Nowadays, they have a hook, they'll explain a little, and then they'll go back to playing a hook in the middle of the video with a 50 billion cuts. A good example. Yeah. Okay, you can go on.
I was just gonna ask you, like, have you seen those like YouTuber who are very, very successful on YouTube Shorts, like 8 million views, like every single short? But if you go onto the long form videos, it's like only a few thousand views, like a few hundred views. Have you seen those before?
Oh yeah, I have. It's embarrassing.
Like,
it's so embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's like you're not transferring the audience you get from these YouTube shorts to your long form content, which long form content is the thing that's gonna really generate you profits and bring you further in your creative journey. So like it is really embarrassing to see that, you know.
Yeah, like a type of creator. I think one of them is what's his name, Ryan Trahan. Basically, what he does with shorts, which firstly he makes like a story up in his shorts, which I think is firstly perfect. Yes, he does the whole TikTok editing, has a lot of cuts, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. He does proper stories, which anybody who can put up a proper story in a short, claps to you, because it's really hard to put up a proper story in 60 seconds. That's why I give you so much credit, because you did Project 50 and you made a story every single day in 50 days. And people like Ryan Trahan, and there's I think some other, they make their long videos into these shorts where they cram up everything and then they don't give the last part, which I personally think is just
like a trailer.
It's genius. And personally, I think those types of shorts is what should stay, because those types of shorts lead people to the main video. And then it gets the main video views, which actually will generate you revenue. Because shorts, if you think, I don't think they generate almost any revenue at all. And when it comes to TikTok, I know there's no revenue almost. I think people get paid like $70 for like 200 million views. So,
yeah, or like So you're saying that like make shorts, don't make shorts for the sake of making shorts, but make shorts for the sake of getting them into long form content.
Yeah, you
So
should.
like, yeah,
I personally think you should make shorts to get people into your long form content, or you create a story in your shorts, like what you did. Make like a little vlog. Show them your personality. If it's a vlog, then it's good because then people actually care about you. And as you have a short retention, if as people have short retentions, you're gonna cut it up in a way, obviously, which is gonna be digestible to these people. And these vlogging shorts, they're actually, I think they're good. I personally think, because if I see a vlogging short, then I'm genuinely interested in the person's life. And if I find it interesting, I'll go up to their actual channel and I'll discover more about them. But that's me. I don't know if that's how everybody thinks.
yeah.
What about you?
Just speaking back to like the Riot Trinian thing, like did you see his like Penny series to go in Mr. Beast? Like
Yeah,
it's been like,
I have.
yeah. I followed that series for like basically the whole thing. So like he can actually like make these daily vlogs like every single day, and he did for like every single day. So like it's like mad respect for him. Like he has the ability to both do stories and shorts and longs. So like I guess that's sort of like the ideal situation for like if you're trying to be like shorts and long form content. But like also like as you're saying that like short form content don't generate much profits. Um, I was just thinking, but like those, but like brands now they want more short form content now. Like brands are paying short form content more than long form content sometimes. Like like I know that a creator in my area, like not in my area, but like that I look up to, he once shared that a brand like he do tech stuff, like technology stuff,
Yeah.
like a keyboard brand or like a streaming brand pay him the same money for like a short form video and comparing to like a long form video, but like he can make 5 short form video and get 5 times the profit rather than him just making one YouTube video. So I don't know. So if you're trying to like make this like you're really like a full-time job and earn money for like different revenue stream, I think I think that's also a reason why like many creators are sort of forced to get into it because they need to pay the bills and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, yes, short form videos, they're much easier to make than longer ones. And
Yeah.
yes, brands will pay you for your short videos. But for example, you, in my opinion, as much information I know, if you want to get sponsorships as a short form creator, you need to first be in a suitable niche, like as you said, technology or finance. You need to first be in some sort of niche that companies are willing. Because if you're just like a gaming shorts guy, I'm almost certain you're gonna get almost no sponsorships. Because I'm certain a keyboard, maybe a keyboard company will be like, okay, we'll give this gaming guy money, but why would they give you the money when they could give a technology shorts guy the money? You know, if you really think about it, because the guy who makes technology videos, like for example, let's say he makes tech reviews for shorts. He's much the what do you call it? Let's say the keyboard company is much likely to give the sponsorship to the guy who does reviews, whose people actually care about his reviews, than the guy who just plays video games.
And so yeah, that's true. Like now you said, yeah, you pointed out that like that creator he did like got big on long form first, so he has like a stable audience, and then he can show the brand that okay, you can choose between these options like short form and long form because either way is people watching it because he has audience already. So that's true. So like yeah, now that you said it that way, like yeah, long form is like really just better for it in many ways. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, and I I just think long form is better for filmmakers because most filmmakers they want to show their work. Okay, they want screen time. So they want to be able to show their whole film or their whole vlog they made. I guess they want to show every single shot they took. Well, obviously they can't do that because or else it's gonna the little thing is gonna be a bit boring. But in my opinion, if you want to do shorts content, go for it. I have not look. If you want to do it, you can do it. I'm just giving my opinion on it. So don't make me the guy who's stopping you from doing shorts. I just think it's not the best idea, especially if you're starting out. Maybe if you get the correct niche and you make the correct videos, sure. But am I have I done enough research to possibly just know that shorts making money on shorts is hard? No,
Really?
I'm not qualified to say that, and I'm not saying that. I'm giving my opinion, and I think it's bad. So I'm saying it's bad. So don't make.
Yeah,
So don't.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming from like a filmmaking like sort of perspective, like normally we shoot like 16:9, like right, like we shooting the horizontal, like aspect ratio, but then for sure you have to crop it in for 9:16. So I like it's just so hard for you to like forget everything else that's out there that like the footages, the beautiful images that like you captured. You just have to neglect all of them because you have to like crop it in that size. Oh, so like that's also what really disgusts me about like short form. Like you can't do it the same as like horizontal. So yeah, and also like I heard this somewhere as like think media or something. I forgot. Oh yeah, they just say like as soon as your screen tilts from vertical to horizontal, the viewer like feels a relationship and a connection with you because like firstly they decided to click on this video. They already like made the choice that okay, I'm gonna stay for a while and watch this video. So they already you sort of already build up this like audience connection. While if you're just scrolling through like short form content, you're just forced to look at these like vertical like short form content. So like that's why like you might see the same guy um every single day on TikTok, but you don't even know his name. You know, there's this guy that I always see like he do cold plunges every single day. Like in the winter, I see him so much time. I even followed him, but I never know his name. The only thing I know is that he's in like also in Canada somewhere. So yeah, there's no brand value at all. So that's the thing about short form.
Yeah. I personally think it's way harder to build a brand doing short form content than for long form. Yes, long form is way more things. Like you need to work on a thumbnail, you need to work on people not clicking off for a long time. You need to make sure you have a good title, a good idea. With short form, you're basically relying on the algorithm feeding people the video.
Yeah.
So it's much easier. So, but I'm not gonna say short form is really easy because obviously you still need to make a good video that people want to watch through, and then the algorithm's gonna recommend it again and again and again. But yeah, both are hard. But for the amount of effort you want to put in, I think long form is better for building a brand and possibly making some money off it. Or you could just go into it with a mindset, I just want to make videos. In that context, what I'm saying is irrelevant. And yeah, okay, let's move on. That's enough for the rant on short form content.
Before we move on, one thing I'm curious is how much screen time is on your phone on average last week? For me it's around like 4.5 hours, and it's mainly just YouTube and Instagram every single day. 4 hours. Yeah, not the best to be honest. Oh wow, you're better than me. You're better. Okay. Wow. I have something to work on. what does most of your screen time look like? Is it like social media or like researching like papers?
Most of my screen time currently is on Instagram, and
Hey,
like most of it's on Instagram, and then secondly we have Safari, and stuff in Safari. Basically, there's a lot of random stuff because I don't have YouTube on my phone. So if I want to watch YouTube, I need to go on Safari to watch it.
oh, okay.
I don't. But I think for YouTube, I only have like 4 hours. Not
Oh,
in
that's good.
not in a day. In a week. Today's Saturday. Where I'm living, I think is it Friday? Oh no, it is Saturday also, bro.
It's almost Saturday here. Yeah, yeah. We have a time zone difference.
Yeah, we have a 10-hour time zone.
Oh wow. Yeah, I gotta say, like your English is very good. Like that's I was surprised to find out that like you're from like Bangladesh. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but the thing with my English is I have an accent, or my accent just changes. I have like 4 or 5 accents when I'm
No,
speaking.
not really. Not really. Like I can't. Or is it just me? Like I can't really tell accents anymore. Like a British guy and an American guy sounds the same to me.
No, wait, are you being serious?
Like yeah, like I don't know. I just watched a lot of like different like international shows. So like I just used it. I just used it.
Yeah, no, my friends make fun of me because I have like 4 or 5 accents. Like sometimes I'll randomly turn into a British guy, and then I'm back to my normal English. And then I have this like accent, English accent when I'm talking to my friends, which I feel like most people have. If you're from another country and English isn't your first language, and you guys talk in another language, you're gonna have that little bit of accent while talking with your friends, and you're swapping between languages.
True.
But yeah,
Yeah. So like for like my origin, like I'm originally from China. Like, but technically,
Oh.
I was born in Hong Kong. But I lived back in mainland. I came in Canada like 4 5 years ago. So my English is also like better now. Yeah. But like speaking back to like creating stuff, the first few years of me posting stuff on social media, it was actually in Chinese. I was like posting for my Chinese audiences. Well, obviously not like YouTube and Instagram, but like it's like Chinese social media. I used to post a lot of like gaming content, like PUBG Mobile. Not sure if you know. Yeah, but like that's the Chinese version of it. Yeah. But then I don't know. I just someday I just decided to like, since I'm in Canada and there's so much more English speaker around the world, like shouldn't I like like create like English content so like my message can go across different people? So like, have you ever thought about um like creating content in different language? Really?
I have thought about it, and I'm like, maybe I could appeal to people living in in my country more if I speak in my
Yeah.
language. But then I thought about it. Is it really worth switching up basically my whole brand that I've built around, and switching languages just so I can appeal to this newer audience when I haven't even appealed to an audience at all?
It is.
So in my opinion, it's not something I'm looking into. Maybe if I've grown more and there's more people in different languages, maybe I'll like have a Dutch channel or something like that.
Yeah. It's like, you know how Mr. Beast have like Spanish, Punjabi, Hindi, like everything, and every other have like more than like out of 30 million subscribers. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if you speak the language of your home country, the people who watches your video already have a connection right at the start. Like there's sort of this like um Chinese like YouTube called Bilibili. Whenever I go on there and watch people's videos, I it's much easier for me to stay in a video compared to YouTube. I don't know. It's weird that to think that English is just a very generic language that everyone's speaking, but if you like speak like your home country language in the videos, and the audience just feel like, wow, this guy shares something with you right at the start. So I don't know. It's quite an interesting like human psychology thing. So yeah, and also like especially like living here in Canada, it's like a very diverse and international world. Like I have I have like Punjabi friends who literally go up to like who literally go up to a guy and just like, yo, what's good, my city? Like it's like so funny. I'm like, yo, how does he do that? It's a superpower, man. Like whenever I just see someone down the street, he's just like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. But like the thing is, if I ever like decide to make a video in my language, I feel like people will think I'm like a foreigner trying to speak the language because I'm so bad at it. Like
Oh, okay.
I could speak conversation. Like I can do conversation fairly well, but in conversation, I'll like randomly speak English. Like for example,
Yeah,
with my sister, I just talked with her in English, and I'm like, we need to talk in our mother tongue, and because no wait, no, I'm like, we need to talk in English more, and then she's like, we only talk in English anyways. What are you talking about? And then I'm like, we're not in English, and she's like, there you go. We're talking in English right now.
yeah, it's interesting.
I had a really important question about Project 50, which
Yeah, yeah.
was using the exact same transitions and the exact same music in every single one of your Project 50 videos intentional.
Well, someone pointed it out like that. Oh my god. Um, yeah. So I have another like funny story to tell at the end about that specifically. But yeah, to answer that question, um, I guess part of it is like me being lazy and don't want to like switch up things every single time. But if you look at it from another perspective,
Yeah.
it's building up a brand and making people familiarize with content. And as soon as they see like the shutter flip or like that light leak, they know it's a video post anyway. Like that's the good way to put it. But the other side of it's like I'm just being lazy. I don't want to like do. I don't want to like switch up things because you know like when you're editing, if you switch the music or like switch like certain stuff, you sort of had to change the entire video to fit that sort of style or scheme of the
Yeah.
video. Like, I mean, for Project 50, it's not like the whole thing is based on the music, but um, I've been in situations when the clients of mine ask me to change music, and that's like really pain. That's like the pain. That's the most people thing you could tell editor because you basically had to re-edit the whole video because everything's based on it. So yeah, but like another story about it is so I'm trying to all right, I'm gonna leak my future plan a bit. So I'm trying to get into a summer internships for this like real estate company that really like prioritize content creating. Like they have a lot of followers on YouTube and Instagram, and I just saw their jobs. Saw what they're doing. I was like, oh, I can maybe help them sometimes as an intern. And the reason why I know that company is because I followed this very famous YouTuber that worked for them, and that and they're like all in the same area as me, and I feel like that could be me. That could be me one day. And that YouTuber is obviously like very big. I can tell you, his name is like Shabal Salman. We can maybe can look him up like later on. But yeah, he but then he quit that job though. So yeah, he's working in there anymore. So part of the reason why I want to get into that internship is that I want to meet that like that idol, that YouTuber that I followed for a long time. Um, but then like but then a few weeks ago when I hopped on a meeting with the boss, like with the manager of the company, he actually told me that the YouTuber knows that I'm creating like Project 50 and those kind of content. And then he said like I use this the exact transition as him. So so like that's I'm like, yo, what? Like but like it is true though. Like he also uses like the light leaks and the flash and everything. But like I think we all But like I didn't start doing that because I'm trying to mock him. I did it because we probably just found the same resources. But
Yeah.
it's kind of funny, and I guess yeah, building up a brand with transitions and music. So that's it.
When I was watching through every single one of the Project 50 videos, I I had to watch it twice just to confirm that that every single one of them had, because like I watched the 50 days, and then I was like, okay, the transitions are the same, I know, but is the music the same on every single one? And I
No, there's three. There's three.
yeah, and then I realized, okay, not every single one has the exact same song, but almost every single one has the same song. So
They do.
then like I thought, okay, maybe you're trying to build a brand around the transitions and the sound effects. And like I'm like, okay, congrats, you're really smart. And over here you're still smart. Even if you did it by accident, no one cares. You still built a brand, like a really a really good, a really big brand through just having two elements in your videos. Which was
It's like so smart that you realize that like many people they just like, oh, I watched that video, I don't even know what happened. It's so smart that you like actually like it was felt a bit weird that like there's someone like all of a sudden like studying me and learning my backstory. So it makes me really special here. So yeah, thanks man.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't bring somebody on and know absolutely nothing about them, which is also I'm thankful that I didn't do the podcast last week, even though last week I legit on the day I watched through I think like 20 of your videos. I don't know, 20. I don't. Do you have 20 videos?
Wow.
I don't know. I tried to watch through a lot of your long form videos. I just still didn't have my laptop last week. So it was all a struggle. So last week I think I'm like 2 hours and I just watched it on my TV because I'm like I need to get this information somehow, because I don't want to ask you generic questions. I don't want to answer okay, how's real estate photography? Yeah, we get it. Everybody has asked you that, but I want to get into a bit more in depth about things that might intrigue me or I see, and not
Appreciate it.
make it feel like just the interview. That's why even throughout this whole what do you call podcast, I think I looked at the list of questions. I think maybe like 3 times. Mostly it's just going from the top of my head. So
It's nice conversation. I enjoy like someone talking about a backstory and sort of giving me a state, sort of. Because like I'm not sure if you experience it, but like a person who's good at taking photos and videos never appear in their own photos and videos because like they're always behind the camera.
it's true.
And I'm sure that every like filmmaker wish to appear in someone in front of some like somebody else's camera. So yeah, like I actually like just experienced that because like as I said, I went on a grad trip with like my school, and I was just a guy who was taking pictures of other people, and no one was taking pictures of me. And even though I asked them to take pictures using my camera of me, but they just don't turn out that well. They just the composition or like everything just like it's just not the most ideal. So if I have to find like I don't know, I'm just saying this. Okay, I'm just saying this. If I'm trying to find like a soulmate, like a partner someday, I'll find someone who can take good photos and videos of me because it's like something. It's like a regret or like something that I don't have. So that's very sad.
Yeah. Now, something that you could do with your friends is personally, I saw this somewhere. I'm gonna do this with my friends soon enough, which is basically, all of your friends in your friend group, you have a task to take pictures of each other, and you basically then every single friend has like candid pictures of each other, and then later on you guys can trade the pictures from one another. Be like, okay, I'll give you these 2 pictures of yourself if you give me this picture that you have of me. So you have like this little circle between your friends that will make everybody want to take more pictures because everybody wants to get more pictures of themselves looking good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like kind of a game. And I saw this on like
that's a interesting video idea right there.
Yeah.
I do that in the summer. I'm putting that in my Notion idea list. I'm putting that.
Yeah. I feel like it could turn out quite well.
Yeah. Like I also like I don't really like staged like that very raw photos. I
Yeah.
like raw and authentic ones. Like sort of like a paparazzi, almost like stalking sort of style. Like those pictures like you being the most natural, like captured in like unexpected moments. So that's the ones that I really like. So yeah, I think that's definitely a good idea. Interesting. It was just
Okay.
there.
So now I'm gonna end the podcast with one last question because personally it's a bit late for me, and I think
Yeah.
I've taken you for a bit more time than I've asked you for.
Wars. Yeah.
So
Really appreciate.
my last question is, how were you able to volunteer for a marathon?
It's just that a lot of programs they want volunteers, like they need these volunteers. So I guess, yeah, it's not. There's no fancy stuff. Like you're probably expecting me to say like some really crazy stuff, like how I spend like $100 to like reserve the spot, but like that's that's not the case. I just say like, yo, do you want me to like come? And then, but then I just saw their campaign, not campaign, but like they're just asking for one to take photos, and I was like, yo, I should probably come and to make this Project 50 series like more interesting, so there's like more variety in my life. So I just went, and yeah, it's all worth it.
I see. So with that, I would want to end the podcast. Thank you, Sunny, for being here today and having such a long podcast with me. This is, I think, legit the longest podcast. I will go on for 4 hours, but I didn't ask you for 4 hours at the start, so I'll feel bad.
Yeah.
And also, it's kind of late.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah,
We appreciate it.
we'll definitely have you on again because this was an amazing conversation. And we might also talk off camera a little. We'll see. And you'll see.
Definitely with this. Stay connected.
Yeah. So if for the people who enjoyed this podcast and want to know more about Sunny, tell them where they can find you.
Like on YouTube, it's just search up Sunny May, and on Instagram, it's also just my name, like Sunny May. And I think I'm big enough that you can just search up my name and it'll come up like probably it's not the case like 6 months ago, but now I think you search me up, you can find me. Go about Project 50 series, as you guys heard from Safwan. It's really worth the watch. Like you can binge watch the whole series like for 2 hours, like how he did. Yeah, go follow me there, and also leave a like for this podcast and subscribe to this channel. So
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you for being here, and it's been a pleasure having you. And that is the end of the podcast. I'll see you guys next week. If I'll either have a solo episode or I'm gonna have another guest on. So we'll see. And that's enough for today. And I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Peace out.